All right, so we got to go over some things of critical importance as half of our play ended up playing to the upside, but unfortunately our ticker symbol FNGR did not. Let's go ahead and go over some of those metrics because I do have some things that are exposing a potential support that can lead to some upside. Let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR team. Welcome back. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with FNGR. Let's go ahead and just pull up the charts right now, team. And I want to go ahead and just pull up something immediately here in the immediate short term, right? So, so let's go ahead and just focus in on this right over here, team. And let's go ahead and touch down on some of the receipts that we have right over here, right? So first of all, let's go ahead and just listen to this in a quick fashion. Here you go. I think that this is highly likely going to introduce a serious amount of volatility soon. If not Monday, then Tuesday or something. But what I can say is that just in case there's an invalidation here, then we have to prep for that too. In case of the thesis failure, supports can be found on the weekly time frame at the September 2022 gap right here. Okay, so we're speaking of the September 2022 gap. It is not to tell you that the thesis failed, however. So let's go ahead and just take a look at that second chart because that's where we were, right? So we were talking about a thesis invalidation by touching down at this. Let's get rid of the Gaussian bands. By touching down at this zone, right? The 416 to 377 area of support. Now, the price action did not reach that. Price action actually bounced right from the area of about what was it, 430? 430 down at the very low. And if you didn't see it already, well then you guessed correctly, right? We're gonna look at the Gaussian bands and take a look at that. So we bounced right off of the top side of the bands. And what does that usually mean? Well, historically speaking, it means that we have officially broken out of the bands and we're testing it before a continuation to the upside. Now, this wasn't something that was pointed out by me. It was very clever. It's actually one person that I consider to be my apprentice in trading, Sebastian Fingerlim himself. Let's go ahead and pull up the portrait screen right here, team, and take a look at this. So based on his thesis, he was telling me weekly time frame, we use the top side of the Gaussian channel as support today. We found an iteration in September 2020. It moved from $2.75 to $17 back then. Is there a major confluence here? So now, following up, he then said that the last iteration from the breakout of the Gaussian channel, that iteration took us 10 weeks or 10 bars, 10 candles, right, of testing support before making a 530% upside. Currently, we are on week number 7, and we only tested the top side of the channel just today. Any weekly hammer candle closure will be a big hint now. Okay, so yeah, so I want you to go ahead and take a look here on his thesis, right? So you can see here that the Gaussian bands, this being the red area here, that tested very well right at the, literally right here on the side that we're looking at right here, right? So tested very much perfectly at the Gaussian top band, right? So this is, it's only, now that we're looking at it in retrospect, it would only be understandable to see this weekly bearish engulfing, right, that somehow just managed to get through our fingers over here, right? No pun intended. But having people as sharp as Sebastian in the community definitely help, right? We're going over at, what is it, like, I don't know, 30 tickers a day, 30, 40, I don't even know. There's a bunch of tickers we're going over, right? But yeah, so Sebastian bringing up this fact right here is absolutely powerful. So I want to bring up one other iteration where this is, it's very similar to what's happening now. So go ahead and take a look at the price action. Let's see this major dip here. We have a major dip right over here, right too. And then we reclaim the inside, just like we did. We reclaim the inside here, right? We came up to the top and came back down to validate the mean band as a support. We came up to the top, we retraced back to validate the mean band as support, then we broke out. So we broke out, and then we started testing. that mean band, the top side of the bands as an area of newly converted resistance into support before continuing on to the upside. And you can see here that very much like the last time, we're doing just that, right? So this is looking pretty good. Now, if you do recall the SPY backtest, we spoke of this firing of the signal to have a 141 spot 31 days in order for us to get that upside. Now, granted, the play that we looked at today for the SPY, or looked at last night from the SPY, yeah, we were talking about an upside starting from down here at 436. Well, guess what? We faced a major 4-point move to the upside based on our calculations. So, yeah, we definitely got that upside. Not sure what anyone means how this played inversed, right? As far as the SPY is concerned, we definitely nailed that upside. Now, what's curious here is that we noticed a very interesting set of, a signal here. And that was pointed out by one of my master students in the live stream today. He said, ARCa, check out the 5-minute, bring up composure, right? This is the algorithm that we just released, the ARQ algorithms, right? So he said, check out the 5-minute time frame, FNGR. So we check it, and immediately we noticed what was a manipulation signal, right? So what's curious here is not that it's just manipulation, it's that it's this. Okay, so here's FNGR with the 5-minute time frame. This is the X, and I want you to pay attention to where the X printed along where the SPY price action was doing. Remember, we were talking about the SPY being essential for our upside. Okay, so this is actually very interesting that all of a sudden today, FNGR and SPY were entirely decoupled and playing inverse to each other. I don't even understand how that happened, but it hasn't been that, and today was the first time it happened, and it just so happens to, look at this. You see how this, the cursor has these dotted lines? So if I move it to the right, if I move it to the left, you can see it on every single chart, right? So what I want you to do here is focus on this side when I park myself at the X on FNGR on the right, okay? So focus on this one here on the SPY so that we can see exactly where it fired, and you're going to be like, what the hell? Foul play. Let's take a look at this. Let's hover right over that X and take a look at over there at the left. Where is it? Where is it? It's really interesting that we're getting, hey, what's up, little guy? So we have a little co-host coming in. Oh, my little guy. How you doing? Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, we're talking about finger. Sorry, you guys. He just came in here to say hello to us, right? He is also bullish FNGR. Little mini ARCa right up in here. How you doing, buddy? Sorry, you guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. I just sat him next to me so you can say hello to us. That's it, buddy. Touch those buttons. That's right. Yeah, you work them. You work them. All right. So, yeah, I want us to take a look at this. Notice it again. We're talking about right here. That's where the manipulation signal fired. Do you know where that is? Look at this. 9:10 a.m. August 21st, 2023, right? Let's go to our chart over here on the hourly time frame and point at that 9 a.m. Well, what do you know? Right here. We got the breakout, we got the validation and confirmation for a continuation to the upside, and we get manipulated down. What the hell is that? You tell me, what the hell is that? We have been noticing the correlation between FNGR and the SPY being perfectly in until today out of nowhere, and before the SPY rips a massive 4-point move to the upside. What the hell is that? That's not, yeah. That's really funny. But I still see an upside continuing here for ticker symbol SPY. So are they going to be able to hold that down the entire time? I don't know. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that look at the signal that the composure algorithm just printed on that 5-minute iteration. Screw it. Let's just go back here and take a look at it. I'm going to make this large. This right here. If you remember, if you are an owner of the ARQ algorithms, you know that this is a signal that is fired when a current trend is over and a reversal is due. Take a look up here. We got that blue signal, capitulation, right? Look at this over here. We went downside, downside, downside. We're starting to get the hint right here. This trend is over. We get another one, another signal, the trend is over, upside, right? So that's what I'm seeing right here. It's telling us that this trend, this downside trend could potentially be over and we could be ready for a continuation to the upside. We'll go ahead and see if the algorithm is correct for this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and mention right now that we still have 10 slots from the pre-orders available for these ARQ algos, and this is what I'm going to do for you. I just upgraded this thing out of nowhere, and I'm going to go ahead and show you something very important. So I am going to be including for the purchasers of the lifetime membership for these ARQ algorithms, I'm going to give you access to my own strategies. These are codes that I have put together in order for me to trade algorithmically, high frequency trading, just like hedge funds do, several strategies at once. So you're going to be getting the Long John Silver based on a silver cross strategy with the moving average volume oscillation. Okay, so we're going to get the average of the volume short signal up or down based on the current position of volume upside or below the volume profile. So you do have a trailing stop loss strategy within this. Same thing with the Golden Death strategy. This is actually a strategy that is both short and long bias based on the SMA 50 and SMA 200 crossover to the upside and downside, including the trailing stop loss strategy and the volume moving average strategy as well. Included with that will be the ARC Div 1 strategy, which is the divergence strategy and locator with long and short signals as well. Aside from that, I will be including the ARC averages, which is usually the moving averages that you see, my relative strength index, and of course this is actually free. You can find it with or without me, right? It just has some extra lines and notes that I've drawn within it. The caretaker is the creator of this Bollinger Bands with percentile, but this is BBWP representing volatility, what I use. So I just upgraded that, and for those of you who are already holding the lifetime subscription of the ARQ indicators, you will absolutely get access to this as well. So let's just go ahead and put it out like that. We still have 10 slots available. Make sure to get in touch with us at arqindicators@gmail.com. Let's move along. Stop the shilling already, damn it. So this is the weekly time frame. We're facing that support here, team. It looks like we could be making a pretty nice bounce. Let's go ahead and refer back one more time to this area here, right? So when we came back and tested this support, we actually made an upside. Right, we actually made an upside, then came back down again, made another upside, and we were just trailing up and down this. But do not be fooled by this, because this is a massive range. We are looking at a range that is about 50% up and down here. So this is quite the opportunity. Hey, baby boy. So this is quite the opportunity to make some pretty interesting moves here based on a trend. So if we're about to identify this, and if we're about to make this thing happen, then we could be in for a 50% run soon. That is not a guarantee. I'm actually just basing this on prior iteration, right? So we haven't back tested this, but I do have to admit that this downside coming down to the 431 area did make this inverse head and shoulders look a little tighter, didn't it? Right over here. Not bad whatsoever. So yeah, and as far as the invalidation zone, we actually didn't touch it. So we're going to see what the price action can lead to. I'm going to give you guys a warning here and express something here, because I would like for my beginner traders to start considering risk off in their assets, right? So the reason why I say this is because September has been historically red, right? So September is a red month. Usually there is some downside to be faced here. Don't ask me why. It just tests negatively. Okay, so that would put serious pressure on risk on assets. So make sure that you are getting yourself prepped for a consideration here for risk off, right? So as I think it would be the smart thing to do as far as a beginner trader is concerned. There could be extreme volatility at play here. We also have an FOMC. We have the Fed Chair Powell speaking this Friday as well. That is likely why I'm talking. That is likely why the price action will continue to the upside on the SPY on the broader markets, right? So this is why I'm saying that we could be facing that upside still, right? So I'm pretty bullish this asset. I am expecting a touch of this top side, whether it be tomorrow, Tuesday, or into maybe it could be also. To tell you the truth, I mean, it's powerful enough to actually do within 1 or 2 days, right? But just in case, we could top out there right around Thursday, which then would introduce some type of a pullback, right? So let's just get ready for this. But I do see some upside coming in. Immediate short-term time frame, we are at a support, and there is a downside present, right? But please just know that this is pretty much just suggesting for us to get long the asset anywhere between 438.45 and about 438.14. So it's looking pretty good, right? So if we can continue on price action here and not face any foul play, then it would be incredibly awesome for the bulls. But nonetheless, let's look at the RSI as the last part of the analysis here so that we can get this thing completed, right? Let's get out of this screen over here. Apologies about that. I didn't realize that I still had Sebastian's thesis up. Right, so I want to pull you here. Yes, of course. So you know what? Let's just go over it one by one, traditionally speaking, right? We have the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame bouncing to the upside here from the SMA 14 and the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile. If you do not remember what I'm talking about, for those of you who just gained access to my ARC RSI, this is the bullish control zone, upper half. The bottom half is the bearish control zone. Please know that the inner workings are the weakness percentile, and these are the strength percentile, right? So bear strength and bull strength percentile. So yeah, we bounced off right from the SMA 14 and the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile with an upside pivot. That's very nice. I still see, however, a little bit of resistance coming up on almost every single time frame, right? So particularly speaking on the 6-hour time frame, we do have this SMA 14 represented by the pink line as resistance coming up. So this is a traditional setup right on the RSI. It's no different than any other. Overbought at 70% and up, right? Oversold at 30% and below. SMA 14, the RSI signal, same smoothing factor that any other RSI has present in literally any broker too. All right, so what I want to focus on here is actually the fact that we were talking about the 5-day RSI. So let's make this a little larger so that we can see what's going on here. The 5-day RSI made an official breakout to the top, to break upside of the SMA 14 for the first time since November 2022, right back here on April 2023. Right, so it's been a long time that we've been able to acquire the upside of the SMA 14. So you can see here that we made an upside. We came back and validated that support from the SMA 14 and continued upwards. Now it looks like we've made a parabolic run. Nice. We need to come back and validate that SMA 14 yet again. I would like to point out that the price action and that the RSI signal and the SMA 14 are located in between the bullish control zone, but this would be the bull weakness percentile. Apologies. So it looks like we still have a little bit of downside to go here if we are in fact going to respect this before we can continue on to the upside, right? So I just want to remind you that we still have this here. We are at a support now, but there could be some downside to endure. But I do see this as a very short-term downside. So whether it be tomorrow that we face the downside and then recover, or Wednesday, I think that this would be great. The opportunity is coming up. I do see this as, I do see this as a bottom. You know what? Today I was talking about around a 446 bottom, and it still ended up going to 430. And that is actually, that is still in respects to what our analyst for the ARCa Bulls team, Sebastian Lim, pointed out. Please remember that we had this thing under our noses, and Sebastian was kind enough to remind us of the Gaussian band support coming down perfectly at it. If we would have had this in mind, right, we would have already been able to tell, right, that, this is the support that we're going to face before a continuation onto the upside, and everything else will be cool, right, team? But I do feel some pretty high conviction here that we are testing just supports before a continuation. So please remember that I did speak of yesterday as a macro breakout. When I say macro breakout or macro liquidity grabs, I mean macro. That doesn't mean that it's going to be over in one day, right? I could see the moves happening, but remember that I did say that volatility was going to enter the asset within Monday or Tuesday, right, or whatever that was. So volatility entered today. So we got that. Unfortunately, volatility towards the downside here. So let's just go ahead and see how this thing plays out. But I am still bullish the asset. In fact, I got long more calls right down here at 430. Full transparency. Full transparency. I'm not going to hide anything from you guys. I'm just going to tell you how it is. Okay, team? Please remember not to take anything of which I show and iterate within these videos as a form of financial advice, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team. Peace. Crack the code, I crack the code, yeah. Yeah.